It's wonderful to have you, because as our viewers are probably wondering what goes on at those EU summits, what do you talk about until the early hours of the morning? And last night was rather tense. We see EU leaders visibly exhausted, Prime Minister. Is this because of their workload, or is this because of Donald Trump?
Well, first of all, I can tell you that these summits are complicated. There are, 27 of us, and if you also include the High Commissioner, the President of the Commission, the President of the Council, it takes a lot of time to go around the table. But I think yesterday was a very good discussion. There is, in spite of the sense of restlessness, a real, sense of purpose about Europe getting its act together. The transatlantic relationship is becoming more complicated. It needs to be managed in a different way.
And was Donald Trump the elephant in the room?
Europe needs to stand up for its own interests. Of course, the U.S. president was mentioned. I think it is good that he made comments to clearly indicate that he wants to de-escalate the situation in Greenland. I think it is very positive that Europe stood up with one voice, maybe with one exception, to defend Denmark and Greenland.
Tell us about the exception.
And the exception is Hungary. This has been the case over the past year, so this should come as no surprise. But I think we found a way to work around this problem and to send.
And what about the other exception? I mean, I watched that video clip from Fico, the Prime Minister of Slovakia, who I believe was sitting right beside you. He was criticising the summit, saying it was a waste of time. He was very critical of EU leadership as well. What did you say to him?
Well, we can look at the glass half empty, or we can look at the glass half full. What I can tell you is that the whole strategic autonomy debate is picking up steam. I was one of the first proponents that we need to invest more in our common defence, and we need to sort out our competitiveness issues.
But what did you say to him? What do you say to disruptive leaders who sit with you in that room for 5 hours?
Well, I think we all have to be cordial and respectful. And this is also true when it comes to the US-European relationship. It was also reflected in the statements made by Antonio Costa. I think we're all very frank in these discussions. People need to understand we're by ourselves. There are no advisors.
No phones?
No phones. In this case, also no conclusions, which makes it easier to be very open and occasionally quite blunt in expressing our views.
And did you discuss Donald Trump's Board of Peace? We know that Hungary has joined, Bulgaria also joined. What was the consensus on it last night?
I think the consensus is that what has been announced by Donald Trump goes way beyond this UN Security Council mandate. I think it is important that the US is involved in the reconstruction of Gaza. I don't think that we would have had a truce without the involvement of Donald Trump. But I think we also need to recognize that moving forward, what has been established is something in which most European countries cannot join. However, we would like to be part of an arrangement to address the Gaza issue. So if there's a way where we can work with the US, but only for Gaza and only for a limited amount of time, Greece certainly would be very, very happy to take a lead in finding a consensus to do that.
But you don't want to join up?
I don't think we can join what has been currently presented. But we need to work towards ensuring that there is a European presence when it comes to the future of Gaza.
What about Mercosur? Of course, the Greek farmers are thrilled this week because of that vote in the European Parliament to send it to the Court of Justice. What is your view there?
My view is very clear. I mean, there are more benefits than drawbacks when it comes to these big international trade agreements. The Commission President and the President of the Council are going to India. I'll be going to India in a couple of weeks. We need to establish trading relationships with other countries or other groups of countries. We are a medium-sized, open economy. We're the leaders in global shipping. We have every interest in ensuring a rules-based international order that favors free trade.